When I go to my local craft store, one of the things I like to do is take a cruise through the sewing area. I don't really sew, but I am fascinated by the notions and the trims and the things that go along with sewing. So someday I might pick it up. Last time I was in there, I found this really fun trim. It's a metallic silver rope trim, and I thought, you know what, that needs to become a bracelet. That can't just be relegated to some sewing I'll never do. So I needed to do something with it so that I could wear it and look at it and admire it every day. So I thought that I would create a knotted bracelet, similar to the one that I made in chapter 5. In fact, this one uses the same knot, but it's a little more delicate because it's only done with 2 strands. That one is done with 6 strands total, and if you need step-by-step pictures on how to tie this knot, that's a great place to look. I will show you right here how to do it in the video because that might be an easier way for you to learn it too. So, okay, first you're going to start off with 2 strands of the sewing trim. This is a 4mm silver metallic sewing trim. You're going to take 1 strand and you're going to make a loop. You're going to have your top tail coming from the left and your bottom tail coming from the right. With your other strand, you're going to feed one end up through that loop, then bring the other tail of that strand over the bottom tail of the first strand and under the bottom strand of the bottom tail of the second strand. And then just gently close that knot when you're ready. If you need to tie this several times, don't feel bad. It does take a little, it's a simple knot to do, but it's sort of hard to connect all the dots and figure out how to do that. So practice that as much as you'd like, then move on to the next step. As you notice, as you're tying this stuff, because it's not really made to do what I'm doing with it, it frays quite a bit. So before you can really move on to the next step, you will need to trim it once again, which is why I gave you so much to begin with, and then glue the ends so that they aren't falling apart everywhere. I already have that done here in this next piece, just to save us some time. So once you get your knot ready, you're going to glue your pieces so that they are no longer fraying before you move on to connecting your end caps. So you're also going to, in addition to your 2 strands, you need 2 end caps, 2 jump rings, and a lobster claw. I chose antique brass. You can choose whichever color you'd like. Dry fit your pieces before you actually apply the glue. This just saves you a step in case you need to trim them or do anything else. You just want to make sure you have the right finding. So dry fitting goes like this. You just push it on there. Does it fit? Yes, it does. It's a nice secure fit. Take it back off. Apply a little bit of glue to the tip here again. Oops. A lot of bit of glue there. Okay. Squeeze it on. Now, I would recommend that you do let this dry for probably an hour or so before you go to the next step, but you know, since we're pushing along here, we're just going to be careful with it. Now you're going to just attach your jump rings. Use your jump rings to attach your clasp. And there you go. I would let this dry for several hours before you actually wear it, just to make sure you get a good cure. Pretty simple. Josephine knot sewing trim bracelets. Make one today.